What's up, guys? So we've got this 1972 Chevrolet Nova that we just finished up. Turned out killer. We're just going to walk you through some of the things we've done to it. So this thing came in, as you saw before, it was just like a bone stock restoration, factory wheels, factory tires, factory stance. Really cool car, really cool driver. The owner has owned it for a long time. His grandfather actually built it and painted it probably 30 years ago. And he came to us wanting to get it updated so that him and his family could enjoy it and drive it. The first thing that you see that we try to nail on everything is the wheels and stance. So we put the RideTech coilover suspension front and rear, so that's tubular control arms. It's got the single adjustable coilovers front and rear. It converted it to a 4-link, and that really helped us get it dialed in to get it sitting where we wanted. Secondly, you see the Billet Specialties wheels. So we went with an 18x9 in the front and a 19x11 in the rear. And the way we actually got away with that is we mini tubbed it with Detroit Speed mini tubs, and we also had a 5-inch narrowed Ford 9-inch rear end put in the back, so that let us get the really deep dish on the rear wheels. But again, RideTech coilovers, Billet Specialties wheels, we wrapped those in Michelin Pilot Sports tires, keep this thing handling good, riding good. But engine-wise, it came to us, had a 350 small block with a turbo 350 automatic transmission, and we didn't do a whole lot to that except for dress it up, and then we converted it to multiport fuel injection, so it should run better, start better, no choke, all that. And then we hung a Billet Specialties front runner serpentine system on it, so there's no V-belt adjustment, you don't have belt squeal, anything like that. I already had an aluminum radiator, so we built a fan shroud for it, and we put an electric fan on it, and so far it's keeping the thing nice and cool, whether we're running the air or not. A little bit more in the detail of this car, we put an American Auto Wire Highway Series wire harness in it. We did Dakota Digital gauges, and we did Vintage Air, their SureFit kit for this car. We built a center console for it, which is really cool. It has got a little storage area, it's got some cup holders, and we actually mounted the Holley EFI, the screen for it, so you can see what the engine's doing, the diagnostics and whatnot. This paint is like 30 years old. It's held up really well, you just need a little bit of polishing. In Tennessee here, it's orange and white, orange exterior, white interior. Goes with the whole theme of our state, right? But no, the car really pops. It's got a great stance and really handles very nicely. The interior cleaned up. Again, all this stuff is 30 plus years old, and we just redid little things and cleaned up little things and kind of did some of the details. But back here, you know, when we did the EFI swap, we also had to change the entire fuel system. So we went to Tank Sync. We got a brand new fuel tank that is EFI ready. So it's got baffles, got a fuel pump tray, and it's got a drop-in fuel pump, which we like to do on all of our EFI conversions. But as far as this thing goes, I mean, it should be a great driver, something he can get in and take off. That 9-inch, because it's got a non-overdrive transmission, we went with a 325 gear ratio. It's got a Truetrac in it. That should be a little, give you still decent acceleration, but also be able to run down the highway and not be turning 1,000,000 RPMs and really wearing on that motor, right? But you can see all the way around this car, the stance is right, the wheel fitment looks good. And the cool thing about this, again, is that it's not perfect, but it's a great car. And I'm excited about putting some miles on this thing. You know, on a build that's this extensive, we try to put somewhere around 300 miles on them before we give them back to the customer, because there's always little things that pop up and you got to kind of work them out. You got to shake it down, and that's what I'm about to do, and I'm excited about that because this is a really cool car. It's going to be fun to drive. So again, 1972 Chevrolet Nova, ready to put some miles on it. You know, it's got 13-inch wheelwood brakes, should stop well. We did the entire brake system. We did master cylinder and everything. This car actually, number one, it's got a little bit of cam in it, so we went with a non-power setup where it's a manual brake setup, but we made sure to work with wheelwood on the pedal ratio, the disc brakes, and then the master cylinder bore size to make sure that this thing still stops really well. And actually on those non-power, you kind of get a little more feedback through that pedal, which some people like. But yeah, there it is, 1972 Nova. We just got it finished up. We're ready to drive this thing. Let's go take it for a spin. So yeah, this is, you know, really one of our first drives on this thing. We're actually headed to the gas station to put some fuel in it, but this is actually one of my favorite cars we had in the shop, and really Orange didn't even a color that I really love, but I really like this car, how it turned out, the stance, the wheels. It just really came together nice. It's got a really cool story too. So his grandfather kind of restored this thing. You know, when he came in, you guys saw some pictures and videos. It was real old man grandpa, factory restoration, factory wheels, factory height, stamped steel, chrome valve covers and air cleaner. It was just straight out of the, you know, the, I guess 90s or whatnot, factory restoration type deal. And then the owner was cool enough to let us do our thing to it, and really bring it into the 21st century. I like that, you know, the paint on this thing is really nice. Actually, it's 30 years old, and we just had it polished and buffed and cleaned up, and it still looks really nice, and it's super presentable. Same thing with the interior. We didn't really do anything in here except build the console, install new Dakota Digital gauges, vintage air, and then just clean it up. This thing drives really good. You can see we're going around some turns, and it's planted, it sticks. So that's thanks to the RideTech coilover suspension all the way around. So it's tubular control arms, big sway bar, coilovers in the front, and in the rear it takes the leaf springs out completely and converts it to a triangulated 4-link system with coilovers as well. And we went ahead and did a narrowed 9-inch rear end in this thing as well. So that way, with the mini tubs, we could get a really big lip on the rear wheels and make it look really good. It should be a really good little car to just get in and take off and go wherever you want. But yeah, this is the first shot. The AC is blowing nice and cold, but you know, we do so much with vintage air, like we don't ever really worry about that. Their stuff just works and works well, so that's why we use it in all of our builds. American Auto Wire harness, we put one of their universal highway series harnesses in this thing, which is what we put in a lot of things that we wire now. It kind of streamlines our process, so it doesn't matter if it's a 72 Nova, a 1934 Model A, if it's a Bronco, if it's a square body C10. If we use that highway series, we know what to expect. We can route our wires nice and clean how we want them. It works out really well. So yeah, this thing is driving really good. We still got to go get the front end aligned a little bit. The steering wheel's off, but we rough aligned it at the shop. I'll drive around, try to get our ride height dialed in, because you know, if we get the front end line now and then I decide that we want to raise this thing up in the front or anything like that, it could change it, and then we'll need another alignment. So I'll drive this around just a little bit like what we're doing, and then we'll take it to get it aligned. A shop here in town, Todd's Complete Auto, they do a lot of our alignments like that. But yeah, this thing is it drives good. We put hush mat down on the floors, on the wheel wells and stuff like that, to try to keep the sound and heat down, and it's doing a really good job. We built a full stainless, it's a 2.5-inch mandrel bent stainless TIG welded exhaust, and we use MagnaFlow mufflers. It sounds really good. It goes all the way out the back, which was a little bit tricky to do with the 4-link and the fuel tank and the coilovers and all that, but we got it back there, and it sounds really good. A little cam small block, or especially a big block, you can't hardly beat the way they sound. But yeah, so far this thing is killer. It sounds good. Motor runs strong. That EFI, it's not missing a lick. Gauges are telling us what we need to know. And one thing I do like about it is because it's not perfect. You know, the paint's a little older, polished up well, presentable, but even inside you can see the interior, which I think for as old as it is, it has held up really well to be white. But it's got some character here and there, and too with the story behind it, with the owner having driven it through high school and college and his grandfather restoring it. It makes it really cool, and I can't wait for him to get this thing back and get behind the wheel to see how much differently it runs and drives based on the things we've done to it. And this thing's like not turning a ton of RPMs, which is good. You know, it's always sucks without having an overdrive, which this doesn't. You know, you kind of got to get your gear ratio a happy medium so you have good acceleration and also decent, you're not turning too many RPMs going down the highway, right? So yeah, this thing cruises good. All right, if you like that video, make sure to like and subscribe, check out our channel, and we'll have more content for you soon.